but I also want to talk in terms of psychopathy and schizophrenia. So I did a big piece of work recently looking at the Yorkshire Ripper, of course, a case, synonymous to West Yorkshire in your area. And one of the things I looked at was whether or not Peter Sutcliffe was schizophrenic or whether he had psychopathy. And one of the things that was very clear, having done that real intense work with the medical professions, the experts, the psychiatrists, was that he was in fact a psychopath. He had all the signs of psychopathy. And the massive difference is because that when you have psychopathy, you can carry on a normal life. You can compartmentalize your life. If you've got schizophrenia, it's very, very present. It can be seen by your loved ones and tend to be treated by medication. I would say, from what I've seen, and of course I didn't sit through court, it'd be interesting to see what came out of court. Was there a thought process that Savannah Brockhill was actually a psychopath?
I mean, she referred to herself as a psycho on a Snapchat video. She looked after her sister's children quite a lot, and there was never any sign of any issues with them. She was never violent towards those children, as far as we're aware. And I spoke to her family in the concourses of the court during the trial, and they never raised any issues.
So she was selective in terms of who she was going to mute that out to.
Yeah.
Let's listen to Jamil. Let's play that Snapchat video of Brockhill's talking herself about being a psycho.
Guys and girls need to remember the fact that Frankie is with me. She keeps getting a lot of message requests and friends requests. She's not going to accept, especially tramps like yous. And if you want to keep your kneecaps, I suggest you stop sending her them. She's with the #1 psycho.
That's quite chilling, isn't it? And I think that shows the power she had over Frankie and her attitude. Her attitude, one of, I'm in charge here, I'm the boss here, and if you want anything, I'm controlling it. What was the court making of that relationship between the two of them?
It was a very toxic relationship. From the get-go, they were constantly arguing and bickering and fighting with each other. Savannah was very controlling and coercive over Frankie. She controlled when she could see her family, when she could see her friends. She wasn't allowed to have any male friends. Savannah would check her phone. She was always checking where she was. If she didn't reply to her, she was sending her messages, demanding to know where she was. There was a quite a lengthy phone call which Savannah secretly recorded with where she was speaking to Frankie Smith, where she was pretty blatantly gaslighting her. Frankie had been out drinking and Savannah was looking after the baby, and she was just winding her up, getting her angry and aggressive, threatening not to give her Star back, all in some sort of ploy just to try and portray Frankie as a bad mother, really, I think, and someone who wasn't to be trusted around the baby.
And just give me a sense of some of the compelling evidence that the prosecution had. They had videos, they had communication between the two of them. Was there anything that was the golden bullet? I
think the golden bullet would have been the CCTV footage from the recycling centre. This is only a small snippet of what was shown in court. The other footage was too chilling to be released publicly. It showed Star in the back of that car for hours on end in the middle of summer, with nothing to do, all while Savannah just sat there keeping guard of this recycling plant. And as you'd imagine, a baby was.
And why was she there? Just to give some context, what was she going to the recycling yard for? Why did she wait so long? I mean, is that where she struck her with 21 blows?
Yes, she was a security guard there. She worked pretty long shifts, just keeping an eye out to make sure nobody came in. But for some reason, I think mainly to allow Frankie Smith to go out drinking, and obviously to keep this hold over her, as she had custody of the child. She would take her with her for hours on end. And as you can imagine, a baby in the back of a red hot car sat there doing nothing tended to get a little bit irate and a little bit upset. And when she didn't comply with Savannah's strict rules, she was disciplined, whether that was slapping, punching, throttling. You could see it fairly clearly on all the CCTV. She tried to explain some of it away with very bizarre references to certain films and stuff during her evidence. But then there was Google searches made as well that during the time she was with Star, where she was searching things like how long for bruising to go down.
Really?
Can you die from being winded? Does toothpaste get rid of bruises? All kinds of stuff like that, which...
And very compelling supporting evidence. It always amazes me the amount of people who fail to realize that their path, their history on the internet doesn't disappear when they just clear their cache file, and actually that can be recovered. And people searching for those things, how do I get rid of this? What happens if I do this? And obviously she fell into that.